In my previous email, I was overviewing all the assignments we're going to be completing this semester. And just know in the next few slides, there is kind of an overview of those assignments individually. A lot of the overview in those slides I've already mentioned while I was on this particular slide. So you can just kind of, peruse through those, look through them, but you've already heard a lot of an overview about those assignments. But you may want to actually look at the rubrics that I'm going to use to grade those assignments. Just for example, for the diagnostic essay and also for the test essays, I'm going to be using our English department essay rubric. It's the written communication rubric. Get familiar with this. You may want to even print a copy of it yourself just to kind of see my expectations for your writing as far as grammatically, structurally, and this will help you in meeting those expectations. As far as these rubrics, you are going to get a graded rubric with each essay that you complete the semester. I'm kind of old school. I like to print out your essays and I handwrite on them. I do use highlighters. I like to color code things at times. So when you receive that emailed essay, I usually scan it through and email it to you. You'll have the rubric on top that's graded. You'll also have the essay with my comments. Try to keep that rubric because later you're going to have the opportunity to get extra points by taking that rubric and essay to one of our learning labs. And I'll mention that in more detail in just a moment. Extra credit, as I was just saying, you are going to have the opportunity with 3 of your test essays, all 3 of them, to go to any of our learning labs here at Mississippi Gulf Coast, and you will take the graded essay as well as the rubric, sit down with one of our English tutors. In some cases, they give you a little slip of paper that states which essay and the signature of the tutor, or some of the instructors, in the learning lab just sign the rubric. And after you receive the tutoring, you will either take a picture of your slip of paper or of your essay rubric with the signature of the tutor. You'll email that to me and you can receive 5 points on each of your test essays. And it doesn't matter if you have a 95, a 65, 5 points will be added. I don't know how much to stress as far as going to the learning lab. You need to go for the instruction to improve your writing, but also it's an easy 5 points. And I have so many students who may end the semester with a 78, and if they just gone to the learning lab, they could have ended up with an 80, and that's a grade point difference between a C and a B. So it's easy, extra points. Try your best to go to the learning lab if at all possible. Also, as far as with your online discussions, as I mentioned, you're going to have 2 online discussions this semester, and this is the rubric that I'm going to use to grade your online discussions. We're going to be discussing how to write an appropriate online discussion post during this week's class. However, you may want to look at the rubric to ensure that you meet the expectations of that assignment. As I mentioned, you're going to be doing 5 grammar quizzes. I don't use a rubric to grade those. It's actually it's a point system that's built into Canvas. And again, as I mentioned, you're going to have 3 attempts on those grammar quizzes. And don't forget to do them. As I mentioned, they may not seem like many points, but it can affect your grade if you don't complete those grammar assignments. Also, the professional writing assignments, be sure that you write the cover letter, the resume, the visual resume, and when you complete those, these are going to be the rubrics that I use to grade those. This is for the cover letter, for the resume, for the visual resume. And again, you may want to read through these just to ensure that you know the expectations of those assignments. And again, with all those assignments, I'm going to give you in-depth instruction. And the APA abstract, as I mentioned, you're going to be learning not just MLA this semester, but APA documentation. So hopefully this assignment will be helpful. I'm going to use the same rubric that I use to grade your diagnostic essay and test essays when I grade this one. Also, I'm going to use that same rubric to grade your argumentative Google Docs essay. Now, the argumentative Google Docs essay, this is the essay that is proctored, and a little bit closer to mid-semester, I will be letting you know when you need to schedule your proctored exam. And when I say proctored exam, you're not taking an exam during that time period. You're going to be typing in your argumentative Google Docs essay and posting that into Canvas in a proctored test setting. And remember that proctored test is required legally by Mississippi Virtual Community College standards. Every student is required to take a proctored exam to verify his or her identity, and that's the reason we have to, as online instructors, require you to take that exam. If for some reason you miss your proctored exam period, you will have to come on campus and I will have to proctor like the actual test where I'm in the learning lab watching you do it. Not the whole time, just as you come in and when you submit it. So please, mid-semester, when I make that announcement about scheduling your proctored exam, don't forget to do that because it is required and very important. You can't pass the course without taking that proctored exam because this essay is worth 25% of your grade. I already mentioned the Learning Lab. Try to go see those Learning Lab instructors. Just one of our tutors I want to mention because I'm familiar with him. As far as Jackson County campus, our main English tutor is Ivan Filipoff. He's awesome. He's a former English teacher who taught at St. Martin, and also he does teach online classes of English here at the Jackson County campus. He is wonderful with helping students with organization of their essays. If you are kind of stuck with how to organize your essay before writing it, you can come in, and I've seen him work with students. They just have a topic, and then in about 20 minutes, they have their whole essay kind of mapped out, like in an outline form. So go and see him. I also know Mr. Tibbs that's at the Jefferson Davis campus, and he is very helpful as well. I'm not sure who the Perkinston campus tutor is, but if that tutor is as great as Mr. Tibbs and Mr. Filipoff, you will be fine. Just don't forget to take your graded essay and the rubric that has the grade on it to the tutor, and the tutor will either sign the rubric or give you a slip of paper. And also remember to take a picture of it and to email it to me because you don't want to miss out on those 5 points. And again, you can take all 3 of your test essays for that tutoring. I do need to mention this. If any of you have any type of disability where you need more assistance with this online class, please ensure that you have contacted Student Support Services so we can give you the just the accommodations and changes to the course that we need to make. Our coordinator here at Jackson County is Darla Lyons, and I've listed her phone number and email. She's a wonderful person who deals with disabilities herself, so she can very gladly help you and assist you through this process. Attendance. I know we're online, but you still have to be present in the course. So once a week, you need to sign in, and don't just sign in. I can see minutes and hours, how much time you spend on the course page and what you look at. I can see what you see and when you see it. So I've seen a pattern. Those students who get on for just a few minutes and maybe just complete the assignment but don't look at any of the handouts or videos, usually their grades are a little bit lower. Believe me, I don't make these videos and slideshows and handouts for fun. It's not for me, it's for you. And so I highly encourage you to spend as much time within the modules, look at all the videos, look at all the handouts. Any information I have, look at it. It's for your benefit. And make sure you check in absolutely on Monday and Friday for sure, because I give announcements of like the week's upcoming events and assignments. As always, though, you can't just communicate through, Canvas. You can email me at any point about anything that's happening. If you have a health issue that's kind of restricted you from doing, assignments for a week, email me verification of kind of, your visit to the doctor or the emergency room, and I will give you some allowances if you have excusable things and events like that happen. But keep me in the loop so I know why you're not in the course a week if for some reason you're not signing in. But overall, I do have to take attendance every week, so be present every single week if you can. Be vigilant. That's the only thing I can kind of warn you. Plagiarism, please understand that we have a zero policy here in the language arts department at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. We don't want you borrowing an essay from someone that goes to the Jefferson Davis campus or getting an essay from a friend who attends Mississippi State University. Okay, you need to do your own work. Even if it's just a paragraph you copy and paste from someone else's essay or from a website, it's going to be discovered because we have all your essays submitted into Canvas, and Turnitin is essentially a program we use to screen your essays for plagiarism. Do your own work. If you ever have question on how to credit something, to give authorship to a source that you found online or in a book, you can always contact me. You can always go to Learning Lab. They, the tutors, myself, we will walk you step by step how to give credit to something appropriately. So don't cheat or plagiarize because it will not work out well for you. You'll get a 0 for the assignment. So do your best and do your own work. As always, if you have any questions, please check the syllabus. Now you're going to notice I have a hard copy of the syllabus. As I mentioned, I have a hard copy of the syllabus. If you look on our modules underneath week 1 and scroll down, there's a whole section on the syllabus. You can print out this PowerPoint that I'm doing if you want this kind of in a more visual manner. I've already mentioned the online weekly schedule in the previous video. Make sure you print that out so you know what we're doing the whole semester, week by week. The policies and procedures, everything I pretty much mentioned is in here, but in more detail. So I highly encourage you to read through those policies and procedures. It just goes into more detail about my expectations of the assignments. Also, the methods of evaluation. You have a slide in this, particular slideshow that I showed you earlier that overviews the assignments, but this is also a printout that you could have as well. So you know every assignment, their percentage value, and kind of the progression of the semester. And again, if you want to print out the rubric, this is the rubric I'm going to use for your essays, your diagnostic and test essays, as well as your final argumentative essay. But the other rubrics for the other assignments are going to pop up later in the semester as we do those online discussion, the resumes, those assignments. So as far as, these other handouts, this is our course of study. This is just in Mississippi. We have to have a unified English 1113. We do the same thing whether you're at Hinds Community College, University of Southern Mississippi, or here at Mississippi Gulf Coast. I just want you to see that these are the expectations of English 1113 across the state, and that my course fulfills them. The last handout is our English department handout. This is created by Jackson County's department head and English language department, so you know that I'm following the rules and guidelines of the whole department. I've already mentioned in the previous email that you need to ensure that you go up very first week. You need to click on this checklist and fulfill every single assignment, okay? And as the weeks progress, there's going to be a week 2 that pops up, and you need to print that checklist and finish all those assignments. And make sure you complete them chronologically and put a little check or X on the checklist so you know that you finish everything. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. If you have any questions this semester, I just highly encourage you to stop by or to give me a call or email, and I would love to make this experience easier for you. All right, well, I look forward to us having an awesome semester, and as always, contact me if you need me, because I love teaching and I want to ensure that you love learning through this experience. And that's going to end the second video, and you all have a wonderful first week of online education, and I wish you luck in all of your classes if you're taking other classes. All right, bye.